Hey everybody, Kowalski here, checking out hashtag Star Trek Discovery discussion videos. Today, of course, we're going to be talking about some fun, exciting theories for Star Trek Discovery Season 3's finale episode, whatever the hell they're calling it now. Okay, so obviously that was just a little bit of a joke because they continuously like to rename all the episodes in this season for some reason. I think we're up to 4 renames now, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. Obviously, we are coming up to the finale of Star Trek Discovery Season 3. This is the big season, right? This is the growing beard season. This is the big and all season. This is the one that really hopefully makes or breaks the show, which is like, hey, did you guys really break out of the terrible twos, which a lot of the Star Trek shows deal with? And this is the final episode of that season. And obviously, we can't give a full-blown post-game, post-season analysis until after we see the finale episode. But right now, I'm kind of, I don't know where I'm at right now, but obviously we'll talk about that later on this weekend going into next week when we do a full post-game breakdown. But we need to talk a little bit about what my expectations, really my theories for the finale are. So let's jump into that. So based off of the setup, which for those of you who may or may not remember, basically Osira just told Vance to shove it because she didn't like his counteroffer for the treaty, and we got Burnham running around basically doing the Die Hard maneuver with some of the crew with being led by Tilly, and you also have the Zorabots kind of trying to take over the ship, and then of course you have Saru and Adira and Dr. Culber on the planet with Su'Kal, who's trying to get him to chill out so they can get them all off that planet, hopefully once the Discovery arrives. So the answer is what could possibly happen in this episode. And honestly, I'm kind of dreading it a little bit because I feel like the answers are rather obvious for a season that has built itself upon kind of making things really difficult to guess and theorize about. I feel like this final episode seems pretty straightforward. So what I'm expecting to see is that Burnham teams up with the Tilly and company, and they work together to figure out a way to sabotage the ship in some regards to kind of disable it against, Osira's wishes. Obviously, I feel like Starfleet is going to surround them, but they're going to get potentially overwhelmed with that other large Emerald Chain ship that's outside the shields. They're going to get through the shields or whatever. Something's going to happen. They're going to get in, and they're going to be kind of going back and forth. And then Navarre, which, Michael called, in the previous episode, she called her mom to let her know what was going on. Navarre and her mom are going to show up with a big fleet with Romulan. We're going to see some cool future Romulan and future Vulcan ships and kind of maybe a kit bash of the two. That'll be fun designs. And then maybe they'll see like an Earth fleet show up, like an Earth Defense Force fleet. Maybe even that weird guy from Jupiter that was there stealing supplies. I feel like they're all going to get together. They're going to show back up. They're going to defeat the Emerald Chain together, and that's going to be the triumphant, rousing, galactic, handshake and, punch up about, starting up a new federation, and that's kind of going to be the thing. Maybe the Trills will show up or something like that. I feel like that's kind of where they're headed because that does tie into this idea of rebuilding the Federation and all the little friends that they made along the way come and help them at the end. That's what I feel like we're headed for. Now, in terms of what's going on the planet, I feel like a lot of you guys didn't like how I was kind of ragging on the whole Su'Kal burn situation. I don't think we're going to get more than what we have. I think it's literally just him screaming, whether that be, through... The most I'll say is maybe it's not just fear. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's, excitement. Maybe it's joy. Just him expressing a very serious level of emotion is what causes that to exhale out of him, which causes the burn. So maybe they'll figure that out. But I don't think we're going to get much more than that. I think they've pretty much nailed it down, which is in utero, his cells divided and then mixed with dilithium and that's it. And that's the thing. And I think what we're going to find out is what caused the burn, like the 100+ years ago. Is my guess is that it's his mom dying because obviously his mom isn't around and it happened some time ago, probably when he was a kid, or maybe potentially the only two things is either his mom dying or literally in childbirth when he comes out of her womb and he's screaming as a child, and obviously they can't control that, and it's just loud, and it's deliveries. I don't know how Kelpian deliveries are, but I assume it's similar to human deliveries where the baby comes out screaming its head off. So maybe that's also when so it's either mom dying or literal childbirth, and that's what caused it. And I think they're just gonna deal with whatever that weird demon thing is, and then they're gonna just get him off the planet, and that's gonna be it. I think they're gonna make Michael the first officer again. I think they're gonna get Su'Kal back to Kaminar. I think everyone's going to get the new uniforms, and they're going to set off on an adventure to establish season 4, which is them kind of gallivanting around the cosmos and reconnecting the Federation with its other distant member worlds. That's what I think. And maybe we'll get like a fun sequence with Vance or something like that, where he kind of rouses the Federation into like a kind of a pseudo Archer type situation at the end of Enterprise, where he just talks to everybody and he has like a little charter they all sign, and that's it. And they kick us off to season 4. That's what I expect to kind of see from this episode. So let's talk a little bit about things that would be really fun to see. Now, I would like it so that at some point, one of the bridge crew members that's running around with Tilly dies. That would be fun. Obviously not the death would be fun, but that would sort of increase the stakes of the situation. I would like to see that. I would like to see Zora, essentially the AI, the sphere data AI, which is in the .23s. I would like to see it do something beyond probably just push buttons or, act as a distraction during firefights or something like that. I would like to see it maybe actually really be the main player as to how they outsmart Osira to really, represent the intelligence of the sphere data, because it's supposed to be this super ancient thought machine that can potentially outsmart anything and was really helpful at the beginning of the season. So it's kind of demonstrating that it has this ability to really think outside the box. So hopefully it comes up with some kind of solution, or is like one of the main, proponents and pillars, I should say, of how they defeat Osira and get the Discovery back. That would be kind of cool. I would like to see that. What I would also really like to see is that on the planet, and I know they're not going to do this. But I would love to see like a fun twist where Su'Kal, the Kelpian that they're talking to, is also a program, and the actual Su'Kal is that crazy monster creature that's, just really scared and terrified, and literally being on that planet has deformed it in such a way that that's what he looks like now. That would be really cool. That would really play up and kind of flip the whole thing on its head and be like, oh, we thought it was this, and it's actually this guy, which kind of plays a little bit into the whole holographic thing, changing things around and things not always appearing as they seem and all that fun stuff. That would be really fun, but I really doubt they're going to do that. That would be exciting, though. So, but yeah, I don't think so, because then how do you resolve that, Because if he looks like that, does he exist outside of this planet, or does he have to stay there forever? That would be kind of too much of a sad ending, which they're probably not going to do. So they're likely not going to do that. Probably not going to get that at all. Another fun thing that I would like to see would be the reveal of the Federation president. It was obviously alluded to very heavily in the previous episode. I would like it to be revealed that Kovich, which is Cronenberg, is actually the Federation president. He's just been kind of hanging out in plain sight, but nobody ever really pressed him for who he was. And he's like, well, I am the Federation president, actually. That would be really cool. I think we might get that. Maybe that should have gone in the first part of the video. I think we might actually get that, but they may save that teaser for later. David Cronenberg did confirm that he's actually going to be in season 4. So obviously that character continues on. So it's likely that they will kind of create that kind of through line, which is that he reveals himself as the Federation president. And it would tie into my other theory that they actually do like a fun Federation charter re-sign at the end, where it's not just Vance talking. It's like, let me turn this over to the Federation president, who you should be talking to. And he points to Cronenberg, and there he is. And he's like, boom, let me check out my glasses. That would be kind of fun. I would really enjoy that as well. And honestly, I'm not, like I said, I'm kind of dreading this episode a little bit, because I feel like what's going to happen is fairly obvious. I would be surprised if they end this on like a weird cliffhanger where Osira still has the Discovery. I'm thinking maybe they'll leave it on a cliffhanger where Osira gets away, and she would have been like, I would have gotten away with this if it wasn't for you meddling Discovery kids, and she flies away in her Emerald Chain ship. Maybe they leave her alive for that kind of a cliffhanger-ish situation. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Again, it seems pretty obvious this episode. I don't see them really flipping the script too much. And it's kind of disappointing a little bit so far, because this season has been really good at keeping me on my toes with trying to guess. Most of my guesses beyond just the Mirror Universe two-parter have been pretty much wrong. I've been wrong about pretty much everything, especially all my burn theories. They were all wrong. So, I mean, no one could have guessed that it was a random Kelpian child on a planet made of dilithium, because they didn't really lead up to that. But we'll do a burn breakdown video another time. But yeah, it's been a really good season with keeping me on my toes in terms of guessing and trying to figure things out. So that's why it's kind of like, oh, this one's kind of like, oh gosh, are they just gonna do exactly what I expect them to do? I hope not. Maybe they're going to pull out some crazy, twist at the end, or maybe they're going to pull something out, and maybe they're going to do another Calypso tie-in since Zorobots are zipping around doing things. That would be, that would be kind of fun. Maybe we'll see something like that. I don't know. We'll find out soon, just a couple of days. But yeah, anyways, guys and gals, that does wrap up my theory video for today. I am, of course, curious to hear what you thought about my theories, and I want to hear some of your own theories as we kind of gear up for the finale of this, these 23 weeks of Star Trek, which have been pretty epic, and I'm excited to see how it all kind of comes to a conclusion, because hopefully it's a bang, and and we can kind of ride this wave all the way through this large dry spell of no Star Trek content whenever that actually happens. I just cry myself to sleep. So get your comments up down below, and while you're down there, if you did enjoy this video, please throw a like and a subscribe on the channel. It absolutely helps us out here and allows you to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek reviews, news, movie commentaries, all that fun stuff that you can hang out in the channel and talk to your favorite friendly Trekkies that are here at the Kent Walski YouTube channel. So thank you guys and gals. I look forward to getting the conversation started. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!